Hey everybody, Dana Stovern here with the Magic of Somatic Money, and this is my longer version video for this week. It's a bit of coaching concept along with a bit of a story, and it all has to do with money trauma. So I've been working on this for the last couple of weeks, really bit off a big chunk here to deliver this here to you today, as well as on my podcast. So if you watch this video and you want to go more in depth, go over to my Somatic Money Coaching podcast that you can get off of my webpage at www.somaticmoney.com. And it's the video on money trauma. And money trauma is the thing. So we're going to begin first with what is money trauma? And then if I can do it on video, we'll see if I can do it. If I can do it on video, I'm going to share with you one of my own personal stories about money trauma, business trauma, and how a trauma of my own got in the way of my ability to do video business money kind of stuff. So let's start first with the concept of money trauma. So first off, you might be familiar with the version of money trauma in that how money can get perpetrated as a traumatic thing between two people. That is a type of money trauma, like holding somebody economically hostage or financially hostage, or doing something with your money that causes somebody else harm, or not being able to arrive into a certain place with your money in a certain period of time to like pay things or do things. All of these different types of things create in our systems, in our body-based money relationship, a sense of financial trauma. So that is an area of money trauma or financial trauma that I do want you to be aware of. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We're gonna set that aside. It's important to know about, but we're gonna set it aside. The area of money trauma that I'm here to talk with you about today is how our trauma in our partnership agreements and exchanges in our lives then bleed out or imprint or vibrate through or vibrate out into our money and business relationships. So, and for me to really talk about this, I need to back it up into some technical things, so bear with me on this. So here's the deal. Money relationship is housed in our second chakra. So if you take your hand and put it over your belly right beneath your navel, that's your second chakra. And this is the sex chakra. It's the home of the sexual organs for men, women, people in the LGBTQIA plus community. And this home of the second chakra is the home of partnership, agreement, exchange, procreation, co-creation, making love, intimacy, all of those deeper, intimate interactions that we have in a partnership, exchange, and agreement place that then create out into the greater world. And what I'm here to talk with you about today is money, because even though we calculate money up here in our brains, we process our numbers in our brains, the vibratory home, and I should also say money affects our entire system, but the vibratory home sits in the sex chakra. And that's the money chakra. And you're going to hear me say it quite a few times in this video. It's the home of partnership, agreement, and exchange. So we're talking about money as far as how we're interacting with partnerships, in our exchange places with money, and what agreements are going on. Okay, so that's the basis of money. Then what happens when we add in trauma? So in the primary, and I should say, there's all kinds of trauma, and there's trauma from severe to subtle trauma. There's systemic trauma, like there's all different kinds of trauma. And for all intents and purposes for this video today, what I'm looking at is how does trauma affect partnership? How does trauma affect exchange? How does trauma affect agreement? As it relates to money in that second chakra. And the primary focus that I can give you to really help you navigate this is that, and I found this to be very true in working with my clients in body-based money relationship, that most of the root of trauma as it bleeds out into money, most of the root of trauma is sitting in our homes of origin, those first nascent imprints of our original partnership, which is with our parents or parental figures. Like that's the place that we soak up the first imprints of what it's like to be in a partnership, what it's like to have exchanges, and what it's like to have agreements, all at the non-verbal level. Non-verbal level, pre-memory, and also as our emotional lives are developing. So that's the place of the beginning. And the trauma that happens, if there is trauma, and when I say trauma, it could be dysfunction, toxicity, drama, like any of those kinds of things that can interrupt our internal systems at the intimate and vulnerable place of partnership, exchange, and agreement. Trauma can come in and create an interruption, a disruption. And then later on in life, when we're adults or we're trying to be functional adults, some days we do better than others. When we're adults functioning with money and we have blips on the radar with our finances, or we have problems lining the money up, or we even have problems sitting down to work with money, or we have issues with partnerships and money, and issues with agreements with money, issues with exchanges with money. 9 times out of 10, when I do the tracking work with clients, it all tracks back into the body and different chakras, back to those homes of origin, original relationships. And so the trauma that gets embedded there from home of origin relationships then vibrates out, bleeds out into the money environment where we're having financial partnerships, financial exchanges, financial agreements. So inner, outer. All right. Now, that all said, one of the last things I want to leave with you before I go to the part 2 of this video is that no two money relationships are alike. No two traumas affecting money relationships are alike. And all of this happens in a very detailed, very articulate, very personal, private, very unique way. So if you're listening to this and you're beginning to put 2 and 2 together, what I want you to know is no matter what, your money relationship is as unique as a snowflake, and the trauma that might be affecting your money relationship is also unique, which means if you're trying to work on money relationship in a general way and you're having frustration with it, you're probably not going to get very far. I have found in the client work that I've done is that when we begin to get specific and track money story and track trauma symptoms and track the nature of what's going on, that's where we begin to get traction, that's where we begin to get leverage, and that's where we begin to get effectiveness in our money relationships. Okay, the story part of this, I'm going to be doing in a part 2. So take this in as food for thought. Think about it. Be sure to contact me if you want to, DMs or emails. Be sure to hit like, be sure to hit follow, make a comment in the comment thread. Love to hear from you. And do well, be good with your money, and catch me in the next video.